introduces you. It doesn't mean he comes and brings wickedness in here. Here, Dave, have some wickedness. I'll introduce this. You know, like kind of growing grass. We're going to introduce some weeds. No. They know who they're shaking hands with, like Don. They know what's going on. Love shows. All sorts of crazy things show fruit of the Spirit. There it is. Does that make sense? And that's what I'm trying to say. The blessing of God is upon your life. And it doesn't mean it's all fruit and cherries and veggies and good stuff. It can be walking in the sewage tank. Holy cow, the sewage pumper could be sitting there spraying you. But the glory is still there. Something that people don't realize as a side note. There are vessels of dishonor.
Yes.
There are vessels of honor and vessels of dishonor, all made by the same God. You've got your nice, lovely flower vases or your pretty bowls you eat out of, but you've got the thing in the room over there too that's made very nicely. It's all by the same thing. Vessels of honor and dishonor. And I've learned that in my life. Just because something's literally pooping on me doesn't mean I'm wrong. I have to see what God is really doing. That's where I learned that at. Because you've got in the middle of the night, the old people had the parlor pots and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's made out of nice fine stuff, just as nice as your dinnerware generally, or could be. I've seen some nice ones. But that's a vessel of dishonor. It has a certain purpose. And doesn't mean it's less important. And that's what in the kingdom, there's people who have that job too. They have the job of cleaning up the mess. And I played that role a time or two when heaven stuck me in it, and that's the only reason I know it. And they say, oh no, God doesn't create that kind of... Yeah, He does. He creates all sorts of stuff you're not even aware of. Shut up, you ugly old thing. And so, anyway, that's just a side note. But the glory of God. The glory. And that's what breaks the devils, breaks the bondages. That's what this community needs right now. Because as I spoke a few weeks ago in a video I produced, or made, was that there's people, a guy jumped off a bridge, we discussed that. There was another guy, a couple people walked in front of trucks on Interstate 5. I mean, you imagine just willfully stepping in front of a truck at highway speed. It's just a giant explosion of nothingness. And they do this because they have no hope. They have nothing. There's no hope out there, and that's what we've got to keep pursuing this God and pressing into Him. Pressing into Him. For the glory in our life, and if it ain't there, we need to fix it. But the other thing was, I think it's chapter 8 real quick. Oh, no. Also about the glory of God in your life. I couldn't find it. It's in the book of Acts here. It was the 7 sons of Sceva. And they went out and tried casting out demons. This demon turns around to him. He says, Jesus I know, Paul I know, but who are you? And that goes back to the glory. It ain't on your life. You're just doing something. And then the other thing here, chapter 8 of Acts. Let's see here. It's the story of Simon the sorcerer. Simon, 18, just to pick this up. However, when Simon saw that the Holy Spirit was imparted through laying on of the apostles' hands, he brought money and offered it to him. Grant me this power, in order that anyone whom I place my hands on may receive the Holy Spirit. Well, I think he kind of had the right idea, but the wrong way of doing it. He wanted it. He saw something he wanted. But it wasn't the right deal. It wasn't right at all. So that's what I'm saying. We need to keep this on top of us, just like what Moses. And that's what God keeps telling me about the house of my people. Who we are in here and what we're talking, what we're accomplishing will bring that to where the glory comes in, which we're already experiencing. I tell people this meeting quite often goes to 10:30, 11 o'clock. A couple nights have been midnight lately. And it wasn't chit-chat. There was ministry going on. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And when you take that to the outer world and you start telling them about that, they go, wow. Because they can't even keep people in church for 2 hours. And then you got to entertain them half the time. And I said, no, this is what God is doing here. This is the caliber of people coming in the door who are hungry who are pressing for the presence of God, for something that, I'm going to put it this way, for something that really hasn't been seen in our age.